Okay. So each area model, which is just means box method, must be an actual square. So remember, that means that both parentheses here and here have to be the same, okay? Now, that's what that tells me about its base and its height factors. They have to be the same, okay? Now, we always put our x squared here. Now, this is the new part, okay? So be careful. On this one, if I know that my two numbers that I'm looking for have to add to 6, but this time they don't necessarily have to multiply to 8. Instead, I know that they have to be exactly the same thing. Whatever I put here and whatever I put here, if it's going to be a square, has to be the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 6, okay? I'm going to take the 6, that middle term, and I'm going to cut it in half. Because that's the only way I can add to 6 and have it be exactly the same thing. Okay? So when I pull my GCFs out, again, notice that I have to have the same thing on both sides so that it is a square. The word of the day, square. Now, if I'm going to finish my box out now at this point, I know that if these are both 3, because that's what I got from doing 6 divided by 2. If these are both 3, to get this box, I'm going to do 3 times 3, which is 9. Now, here's the problem. I have 9 in my box, but notice that my standard form isn't 9, it's 8. So what I need to do is I need to ask myself, how do I make the 9 become 8? Well, I'm going to minus 1 from it. This new method is called the extra box method. So that's used whenever we complete the square, okay, to get our vertex form. We're going to use what's called the extra box method. What's different on the regular box method is that the two factors, the two sides of the square, don't have to be the same on the regular box method. But on this new method, they have to be the same. And so that's why we need the extra box. So I got the -1 because that's how I make the 9 become 8. Now, if I was going to write this all together, then what I would do is I'd have my two factors from my box method and my extra box. But here, these are the same thing times itself twice. So I can write that as it's squared, and this is what the vertex form looks like. So think of it like standard form has no parentheses. Factored form had 2 parentheses, and vertex form has 1 parenthesis. Maybe that'll help, okay? Let's try another one. Again, I'm going to start by putting in my x squared and taking my b factor and cutting it in half. The reason why I always cut my b factor in half is because that's the only way I can find two numbers that add to 6, but they have to be the same because this has to be a square. Then I can take my GCFs out, finish my box here, 3 times 3 is 9, and then to get my extra box, I think, what do I need to add to 9 so that I get 10? And in this case, it's 1. So I have x plus 3 times x plus 3 plus 1, or x plus 3 squared plus 1. And there's my vertex form. Okay, we're going to do a few more.